Hello there, Wildcats. Welcome to your Algebra 1 class. In this video, we are going to um, discuss and I'm going to model to you about linear inequalities in two variable. Our goal in this lesson is to graph solutions of linear inequalities in two variable. So what are the vocabularies that we need to practice? First is linear inequalities in two variable. How does it look like to have a linear inequalities in two variable? Second is solutions of linear inequalities in two variable. So there are two skills that I want you to practice in this topic. First is we have graphing linear inequalities in two variable, and the third one is identifying the solution of this given linear inequalities in two variable. All right, so before we jump into our first example, I have we need to review about inequalities. We said before that if you use a greater than or less than in graphing, we have to use an open circle and then a dotted line or a dash line. If you use greater than or equal, meaning the number or the location of the point is included in here, or less than or equal, then we use a dot, a close dot, solid dot, and then a solid line. Okay, so if you have x is greater than or equal to 1, so if you graph that, so let's say this is your number line. So let us say this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So if I'm going to graph it, I'm going to use a solid circle on 1 because that's the location of my point. And then it says there the value of x, okay, is greater than or equal. So I'm going to use a solid line going to the right of my number line. It's because all of the number on the right side, including the 1, okay, 1 is included as part of the solution because of the greater than or equal sign there. Okay, so that is the discussion that we have about inequalities before. Now we'll be using these skills in graphing. Okay, and also we also need these skills on your graphing using y is equal to mx plus b or your slope intercept form, because we need that. So on the first graph, I'm going to graph y is greater than x minus 2, and on the second graph, I have y is greater than or equal to negative x plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to graph this. Again, the one of the skills is identifying the slope. So our slope here, m, is equal to 1 over 1, or, and my y-intercept, sorry about that, or my y-intercept here would be 0, negative 2. Again, when we say y-intercept, it is a point, not just only the negative 2. Okay, so that's 0, negative 2. So I'm going to graph first my 0, negative 2. So 0, negative 2. This is the graph, and then the slope is 1, 1 over 1. So I have here the 2 point, because only 2 points can determine a line. 2 points can determine a line. So I'm going to connect them using a dotted line. Okay, so maybe I can extend it until here. Now that's one of the skill, graphing inequalities. And it's a dotted line here. It's because they made use of just greater than, meaning all of the numbers that lie on this line is not included to the solution. Okay, when we say solution, we can now check where is the shaded region in this inequality, okay, into variable. Identifying the solution is one of the best way to identify your solution is using the 0, 0. Mister, is it always 0, 0? This is the fastest way. We can check, most especially if your line is not on the 0, 0 origin. because if your line is on, if your line passes through 0, 0, you have to select any other point that is not on the line. So make sure that you have to select a point that is not on the line. Okay, so one of the best way to check it is using 0, 0. Okay, so it's either if our inequality will be true, then our shaded will be on above your above the boundary line. This is what we call the boundary line. If it is false for 0, 0, then it's below the boundary line. So let's check. So using 0, 0 as value of x and value of y, let us check if this will give us a true statement. So we have y is greater than x minus 2. So if y is 0, is that greater than 0 minus 2? So is 0 greater than negative 2? Our answer here is true. Okay, so the answer is true. Therefore, okay, because our answer is true, therefore the shaded region will be on top of it, okay, on top of the boundary line or the border line, including the 0, 0. So we can now shade that. Maybe I'll just use this one. So I'm going to shade all of the number on top of this will be part of the solution of this inequality. There you go. So that is the shaded region. Any number or any ordered pair, including any ordered pair that is on the line, is not part of the solution. It's just only on top of it, because it's a, again, it's a dotted line that indicates, your dotted line indicates that all of the number or all of the ordered pair on the line is not included to the solution. So it's just only greater than, it's on top of it. Okay, next, how about this second one? Again, we have to identify the slope, which is negative 1, and then my y-intercept would be 0, 1. So 0, 1, it's here. I'll be using maybe green here. 0, 1, it's here. And then negative 1, it's this one. Okay, I'm going to graph this. First, I'll be using green here. Let's see. Okay, let's say we connected those line. Now, we can now check using 0, 0. Okay, so checking using 0, 0 would be the best way to solve it. So I'll be using 0, 0. So if 0, 0 will be true, the shaded will be below. If it is false, then it will be above. So 0, 0 as part of my x and y is the value of x and my y. So what I'm going to do here is get my inequality here. So y is less than or equal to negative x plus 1. So y is 0, less than or equal to, for 0 plus 1, is 0 greater than or equal to 1? 0 is greater than, or 0 is less than, sorry about that, 0 is less than or equal to 1. It's true. So the shaded region here will be on this portion. So all of the number that are here. And I'll just wanna to I wanna check this one. This one, I'm sorry, I was not able to. I have to use green. This must be a solid line. So that is a solid line, guys. Okay, so it must be a solid line. So connecting this this graph here, we need to use a solid line on this one. Maybe I can just erase that and change it to solid line. So 1, 1, Sorry about that, guys. I didn't see that. So this must be a solid line there. Right? Because the your solid line indicates that all of the point on the line is included. Okay, so I'll just write that all the points on the line is included as a solution. Okay, while this one, points on the line, is not included to the solution. Right. Next, creating an inequality into variable. So the science club sells t-shirt and keychains. To raise money, how many t-shirts and keychains could they sell to meet or exceed their goal? Because their goal is $500. Okay, the t-shirt is $10 each, and keychains is $2 each. So X will be we let X represent maybe number of t-shirt, and then we also have Y represents the number of keychains. Okay, so I'm going to make an inequality based on this one, because they said how many teachers can you sell to meet or exceed, the word exceed, so can be higher, so greater than, right? So $10 for each t-shirt plus $2 for each keychain must be greater than or equal to 500. Okay, so to graph this, so we're going to graph it. Maybe I'll just use what do you call this one? We have to rewrite this one in y is equal to mx plus b. So 10x plus 2y is greater than or equal to 500. And then I'm going to subtract 10x both sides minus 10x. So this will be cancelled. So I only have now 2y. It's greater than or equal to negative 10x plus 500. Then divide this one by 2, 2, 2. So y, it's greater than or equal to negative 5x plus 250. Again, as just a reminder, guys, if you have, let us say, if the coefficient of the y here is negative, make sure that you have to flip your inequality symbol. Remember that that was our one of the rule that we discussed, and I did emphasize that, give emphasis on that when we discuss about inequality. So this is now our new equation written in y is equal to mx plus b, because the slope here is negative 5, and then you have your y-intercept is 0 and then 250. Now, when we identify now the slope and the y-intercept on this problem, now for our discussion assignment on this video, okay, I want you to graph this one in a separate sheet of paper, and then after graphing, I want you to take picture of it and then upload it in the discussion part. Okay, again, I'll repeat. I want you to upload a picture of the graph, because the only thing that you have to do now is to graph this, because I already identify your slope, I already identify your y-intercept. Now the only work that you're going to work now is that you're going to do, sorry, is to graph it, take picture of it, and then upload it in the discussion here. All right, next problem. We do also have this one. What inequality does the graph represent? So of course we are going to create an equation based on the graph. So the graph gives you information about the inequality already. What does the solid line tell you about the inequality? So it's a solid line, therefore they made use of greater than or equal, less than or equal. This is the only choices that we have because they made use of a solid line. So we are going to determine the line, okay? And then second is identify. As what I have said, when we are graphing, we need your slope, which is the m, and then plus the value of b, or your y-intercept, okay? So your y-intercept, I'll repeat this one, your y-intercept, this is the value of y when x is equal to 0. So what will be the value of y when x is 0 based on the graph? Okay, so if x is 0, what will be the value of y? It's this one. This is now your y-intercept. This is -3. So your y-intercept on this given will be 0, -3. Therefore, the value of b, okay, again, the value of b and the y-intercept are different. Y-intercept, it's always a point. But the value of b, okay, it's -3. So this is the value of b in the y is equal to mx plus b. Now, what will be our slope? So what is our slope? So take a look at the slope. It's 1, 1, 1, 1. So the slope is 1. Therefore, the graph represents y is equal to x minus 3. Okay? This is the equation to that. However, the solutions are shaded on top of it. So all of the number, including all of the point, including the point on the line, is part of the solution on this inequality. So what will be our answer? Okay, so our answer would be y is greater than or equal to x minus 3. Okay, because we do check, so we do checking. Again, we still have to use your 0, 0 as the checking portion. So if this is true, then that is our answer is correct. So checking if this is x and this is y. So y is greater than or equal to x minus 3. That is 0 greater than or equal to x minus 3, or 0. So 0 is that greater than or equal to negative 3. It's true. Okay, therefore this is the equation of that line. Mr. Why is it not y is less than or equal to x minus 3? So if I'm going to check on 0, 0, okay, 0, 0, so that is 0 less than or equal to 0 minus 3. 0 is not less than -3. Okay, so that's not our solution there. Okay, so our answer here must be y is greater than or equal to -3. So the graph is shaded above the boundary line, and the boundary line is a solid, so the inequality is greater than or equal. And our last example for this video is on this topic. We have to graph. So what will happen if we have this type of problem? It's like y or x is equal to 3. So identify the 3 there. So identify the location of the 3 that would give us the value of x is 3. It's this one. Therefore, and they made use of greater than or equal. Therefore, it's a solid line. It's a solid vertical line here. Okay, it's a solid vertical line. And then the shaded part is, again, you can test 0 0, but it says there the x is greater than, so all of the number that is greater than the 3, so the shaded region will be on the right side. So all of the number including 3, including those on the line, will be a solution to this equation. Okay, there. So how does it look like if you have y? Okay, so if it is y, then it's a horizontal line, and then you just identify if it is greater than or equal. All right, so that's it for this one. Let's see if y, I'll just graph it in the same graph. Let's say letter B is y is less than 2. So if it is y is less than 2, it's here. So I'll just erase this one. So y is less than 2. So that is 2 there, and then all of the number less than 2. So I'll just connect this with a dotted line, with a dash line here. So y is less than 2. All of the number that is less than 2, it's below. So all of the solution of this inequality will be below the borderline, excluding the points on the line. So that is all about inequalities. Do not forget your discussion on this video. You need to answer, you need to graph it, take a video of it, and we'll see you next time, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.